Hello and welcome to the first video for Animal Crossing New Horizons. This will be a monthly series where I display or update my progress on my new save file. This first video, however, will cover both August and September, as well as have an additional section for this game's story. The other sections that will be in every other video are events, collectibles that I have gathered up to this point, and then lastly will be plans, goals, or any updates I have for my island. I started off the game by naming myself Daffy, gave Timmy and Tommy the best mugshot they've ever seen, selected my island, and boarded my flight. Arriving at the island, I met the other two island inhabitants, Dom the sheep and Renee the rhino, talked to the twins, and ran over to Tom to start the day 1 tutorial. We talked, I gathered sticks and fruit, and we shouted potential names for the island. I went with Sinnoh because I wanted a Pokemon themed island, and Gen 4 is my favorite generation of Pokemon. And after the ceremony, I went to bed. Roughly 20 hours later, I was rudely awakened by Tom, who gave me an island exclusive phone and a bill for 49,000 bells, which changed to 5,000 Nook miles after the currency conversion. Starting off the next day, I ran around catching some bugs and donated 5 to Tom to get his museum friend over to my island, and set aside some land for his tent. Afterwards, I started to complete small achievements to get Nook miles, collecting weeds, selling shells or fruit, and collecting bugs or fish, until enough was completed to pay off my bill, and immediately take a loan for a house. Walking out of my newly built house, I booked it to the tent to pay off my loan and immediately took another one. Afterwards, I went to pay a visit to our newest member of the island, Blathers, who gave me a vaulting pole, and in return I donated 15 new species to get the plan started for a museum. Afterwards, I was requested by Tommy to help fund his idea to open a shop, in which I donated all the needed supplies moments later, and set aside some land for the building. After helping those two, I decided to go about the other islands in search of villagers, and I came across Mo the cat, Meringue the rhino, and Ruby the rabbit, who all agreed to move to my island. Continuing the next day, I ran to Timmy and Tommy's newest business adventure, that is Nook's Cranny, walked in to see what items were for sale, bought what I wanted, and left. Went over to Tom, who wanted me to place down a bridge, and I did so, connecting my orchard to the mainland, and also placed 3 plots of land for 3 new villagers' homes, as well as the furnitures in and outside of the house. In the following day's announcements, Tom is telling us about our new neighbor Mo and the newly built museum. Afterwards, I ran straight to pay off my second home loan and took another one for 348,000 bells. Then took all my critters to the newly built museum, here's a picture of all of them in one pile, and handed them over to Blathers. The next few days were used to celebrate the completion of the new town hall and to welcome 3 new inhabitants to the island: Meringue the rhino, Ruby the rabbit, and Isabel the receptionist. After Isabel joined the island, gameplay came down to just doing daily chores every day. Watering my flowers, picking up weeds, placing fences, randomly placing furniture, placing infrastructure down, collecting critters, welcoming new villagers to the island, and logging in to get Nook's Cranny's upgrade in Mabel's clothing store, until 3 weeks went by and it finally happened. By the way, if I was to do prediction stuff, you can like bet on both ways and kind of like transfer your points that way, but only if I allow the prediction. Please. Yes! Stars! That means Slider's gonna come. Sorry about that. I do run on. Time to get your fingers snapping. Right on. This one goes out to all the cool cats on Sinnoh. That's you, Mo. Once the concert was over, Tom stopped by my house and gave me the ultimate island tool. And with the credits rolled and the designer tool obtained, the game's story is officially complete. During these 2 months, we had many visitors come and go. We helped the Gold brothers get back to their cruise. Sahara, Kix, Leaf, Daisy May, and Red stopped by selling their wares. CJ and Flick came to add to their collection, and Celeste visited to gaze upon the stars. But as these friends will come and go as they please, one of the full-time inhabitants of the island decided they couldn't stay any longer. So with Renee's mind set, she left the island. The last of the events that is worth talking about is the tours with Cap'n are now available, but before we set sail on our first voyage, Blathers gave us the job of finding a friend of his that can open a cafe in the museum. That gentleman's name is Brewster. For the collection section, the type of critters will be at the top right, along with the subclass and clips of each critter I caught, but fossils will be divided by fossil sets and single fossils. This section will go over my initial plans I have for the island, as well as any updates that change along the way, whether that be a change in villager, island layout, or any goals that I've set for the island. For villagers, the first 7 I'm going to list are an absolute must that will not change. Anka, Bob, Judy, Shino, Lucky, Whitney, and Coco. The next 3 can be swapped out for another villager if I come across one that I like and wish to keep, and they are Molly, Blanche, and Stitches. The plan for my island, since it's named Sinnoh, is setting the floor for it to be a Pokemon-themed island. I'm not just going to stick with Generation 4, because that would be limiting me on what I can use, so I'll be taking sections from each generation of Pokemon region and using that for reference as well. If you have an idea that will be a good addition to the Pokemon theme island, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. That's the end of the video. Thank you all for sticking until the very end. If you want to help or just want something that I have, being an item or villager, feel free to stop by my Twitch where all the clips came from, and I will see you guys later.